want to thank everybody for coming out today. I'm Captain Charlie Sampson. I'm the commander here of our Central Los Angeles office. Today is very special for me. I have the honor of being able to stand up here today and present an award for community service. Typically, I stand up here during our training days or special events and provide commendations to my officers for bravery. But however, today I get to honor a citizen of Los Angeles for doing a brave act. And bravery comes from all walks of life, and he's a prime example of what a true human being is capable of, and it's saving lives. He did a selfless sacrifice, and I want to underscore the word selfless, because he put his own safety and his own risk to go out there and save a total stranger, somebody that he's never met, somebody that he has no connection to. On January 1st, 2017, at 3:27 a.m., in the middle of the night, Mr. Arnold Quesada, he's a 43-year-old male, and he's from Los Angeles, was disabled in the number 1 lane of our Interstate 10 freeway in the city limits of Los Angeles. CHP received numerous 911 calls advising of his immobility in the number 1 lane. Some of the callers were saying that he did not have his emergency lights on, he did not have any lights on at all, he was completely blacked out in lanes. Our recipient, Mr. Austin Raishbrook, heard the call, he was in the area, he saw the vehicle stopped in the number 1 lane, he pulled over onto the right shoulder. And the right shoulder is probably the safest place to be under those circumstances. Typically, only disabled vehicles use the right shoulder at that time of night. As he pulled over onto the right shoulder, he began witnessing cars go by this vehicle at a rather close proximity. While on the right shoulder, CHP officers started responding to the call, and we had a CHP officer traveling southbound and observed the Ford Explorer stopped in lanes prior to the collision itself. As the uniformed officer made the turn to start heading northbound on the 110 freeway, unfortunately a vehicle struck the disabled vehicle in the number 1 lane at about 60 to 85 miles an hour. As you could just tell based on the speed alone, that impact was violent. The impact pushed the Ford Explorer across the express lanes, there's 2 HOV lanes in that area, into the center divider wall, and immediately caught on fire and began to quickly engulf the vehicle. Mr. Raishbrook immediately, without hesitation, left his place of safety, ran across the freeway to render aid. Without thinking of his own safety and wanting to save someone's life. Once he reached the vehicle was at that point basically fully engulfed in flames. With the assistance, he was able to pry open the driver's door, and inside sat the driver, Mr. Quesada, seriously injured. He was seat belted in, so not only did he have to negotiate the seat belt to pull him out, but he had to pull him out without the assistance of Mr. Quesada himself because of his injuries. He had a very small window to do that before the vehicle was fully engulfed. So today I want to bring Austin up. Come on up here, Austin. And I want to acknowledge his lovely wife, Carrie, and their beautiful children here today to witness this award presentation. I want to present is my distinct honor, and I say that, with true sincerity. It is my distinct honor, Austin, to present you with a California Highway Patrol Outstanding Community Service Award for your bravery. And we spoke privately before coming out here, and I want to absolutely commend you for the act that you did. Mr. Quesada is here today only because of your bravery. A life was saved, and you should feel real proud about doing that and standing up for that and taking care of business that day. So I want to thank you. I personally want to thank you for that.
Thank you.
That's an awesome award, Austin. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
No, it's an absolute honor to receive. And I have to admit, this is actually much more intimidating than running up to a car fire. Yeah, I'd much rather be behind the camera, but no, it's an absolute honor to receive this commendation. It's great to be recognized for what I did. I genuinely don't think that I did anything outstanding. I truly don't. I think I was in the right place at the right time to be able to help out. We shouldn't forget you guys. You're out there day and night, every day, putting your lives, putting your lives on the line. So, thank you.
Yeah, so, appreciate that. Appreciate that.
But thank you.
You earned it. You earned it. There is a second recipient here today that followed Austin's lead on this. And if I could have Clint Laylis please come up here. Clint was working with Austin that night, and I had the chance to speak with Clint also behind cameras. Both of these men are extraordinary people, extraordinary heroes. And Clint followed Austin's lead and followed him up there, and it took two people to pry that door open. And Clint stood there with that raging fire as well to pry that door open at his own safety and his own risk to help save Mr. Quesada. So on behalf of the California High Partrol, I also want to present you with a Community Service Award for your bravery, Clint. It's much appreciated, and it's great to see that we have citizens out there willing to risk their lives to help another. Thank you, sir.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
I just want to say that the real hero is Austin here. I was pretty much frozen as that car was on fire. I think there was a lot of people on the side of the road not knowing what to do in that moment. Like, do you run towards it? Do you wait for the fire department? What do you do? And out of the corner of my eye, here comes Austin. He just ran right at it, smashes a window out, checks the passenger side, no one's there, goes to the driver's side. That's when I was like, okay, I should probably help him. So the real hero here is Austin, and I just think everyone should appreciate him for his heroism. Thanks, Austin.
I'd like to thank everybody for coming out today. I have plenty of officers here that can answer individual questions if you have any, or I could take a few questions now if you have any questions for myself. Thank you very much for coming out.
Well, how did you want this, like, just hold it. Good. It's today's been an overwhelming experience. I'm not used to being on the other side of the camera. It's one of those things where I'm a lot more comfortable behind the camera. But I do. It's fantastic to be recognized for what I did. That's great. Kind of reliving the whole situation again. So, okay, Howard, can you keep him? Sorry, Jack. So that night actually was a relatively slow night. I went to a couple of things. Then this call. I was kind of heading back to downtown, and my night was kind of over anyway. I was like, a stored vehicle came up. Traditionally that's something that we will shoot. It's video of that on the news, shows the inherent dangers of, stalling on a freeway at night, the cars flying past. So, I pulled over, I put my emergency lights on to warn cars coming. Started recording. The adrenaline's pounding, obviously, because, the expectation is that it's going to turn into a crash or something bad. I already knew the Highway Patrol were coming. They'd actually gone the opposite direction. And I saw cars just flying past, and I was like, you know what? This is going to end badly. A minute into it, he gets nailed from behind. You know, at that point, I dropped my camera, turned from a stringer into a rescuer. You know, I didn't know what was, you know, what I was going to come up against. You know, I didn't know how many people were in the car. I didn't know, you know, whether they'd been killed instantly. I didn't know. I grabbed my fire extinguisher, ran across the freeway. Car was pretty much fully engulfed. Smashed the passenger side window. I could kind of see through the smoke and the flames that the guy was in there, unconscious. For me, it was then like game on. You know, I've got to try and get him out. He didn't have long. So, you know, I had another cameraman with me, Clint. He came, you know, we both went around to the driver's side. You know, we managed to get the driver's door open. I was met with heavy smoke from the car. You know, I couldn't even see the guy at this point. So I went in, you know, stepped into the car, kind of reached around to try and unbuckle him. He still had his seatbelt on. I couldn't do it. Then I was fought back by the smoke and the heat. There were flames coming across the top. So I leaned over the center divider, took a deep breath, went back in again. Still couldn't undo his buckle, but managed to pull down his shoulder belt here and managed to wrench him out from underneath. Once I got him onto the floor outside the car, you know, myself and Clint, you know, we dragged him away. And within seconds, you know, tires exploding, the car was fully engulfed. It was a very intense few minutes, you know, just really 2 or 3 minutes, but that whole experience is going to last a lifetime. I had no idea that anybody was in there. I presume there was somebody in there, purely because, you know, it kind of looked like somebody was trying to turn the engine over, and the lights were dimming at the back. So I guess his battery died, he couldn't start it. And you know, that heart-stopping moment when the lights just completely went black. He was blacked out on the freeway. Then it was like, you know, what next, you know? And
it's not the first time you cover vehicles that are involved in the freeway side. What made this time different than other times?
so this time, I actually had time to help. You know, I was in the right place at the right time. You know, as stringers, we all try and get to the scene quickly to get the most dramatic footage, you know. Often we get to a static scene, you know, there's nothing we can do, fire department's there, cops are there. This time, I actually saw it happening, and I was, you know, in the right place, the right time,